Imagine waking up to the news that the man responsible for one of the most chilling crimes in recent U.S. history has just been sentenced to spend the rest of his life behind bars. No trial, no statement, no answers. Bryan Kohberger, the man who brutally murdered 4 University of Idaho students in a quiet college town, has finally received his fate. But what led to this moment? Why did he do it? And why did he choose to remain silent as grieving families begged for answers in court? In this video, we're breaking down the key moments from the sentencing, the investigation that shocked the nation, and the aftermath that continues to leave everyone asking why. On July 22, 2025, Bryan Kohberger was handed 4 consecutive life sentences, one for each of the victims: Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. The judge, Stephen Hippler, made it clear Kohberger will spend the rest of his life in an Idaho state prison with no possibility of parole. This sentencing follows a plea deal made to avoid the death penalty, a decision that left several victim families heartbroken and outraged. Kohberger, who once studied criminology, sat stone-faced in the courtroom, refusing to say a single word beyond a quiet, "I respectfully decline," when asked if he wanted to address the court. The courtroom was packed with reporters, family members, and members of the community who had been following the case closely since that tragic November night in 2022. Many were hoping for closure or at least some form of explanation. But as the judge noted, it's likely we'll never truly understand why Kohberger committed these brutal murders. The families of the victims gave powerful impact statements, some emotional, others furious. Randy Davis, Xana's stepfather, told Kohberger he was evil and declared, "You're going to go to hell." Others described the unimaginable grief they've endured over the past 2 years and their frustration with the justice system. Prosecutor Bill Thompson also addressed the court, explaining that while not everyone agreed with the plea deal, it was made in consideration of the overwhelming evidence and the emotional toll a full trial would have taken on the victims' families. He admitted the process was heartbreaking, saying, "There's no easy way to remain stiff-lipped and dry-eyed through this kind of tragedy." Thompson presented photos of the 4 students as he spoke, each one a painful reminder of the bright lives lost too soon. He emphasized that every victim was unique, and each life deserved to be recognized individually in the sentencing. One major frustration voiced by both the families and the public was Kohberger's complete refusal to speak. Investigators say they still do not have a clear motive, and Kohberger's silence in court only deepened that mystery. Despite countless hours of investigation, including forensic work by the FBI and coordination with Pennsylvania State Police, no connection between Kohberger and the victims was ever confirmed. Judge Hippler commented on this silence, saying the desire to know why continues to give Kohberger relevance he does not deserve. Instead, he urged the public to focus on honoring the victims rather than obsessing over the killer. The investigation itself was one of the most complex in Idaho's history. Police Chief Anthony Dollinger described it as an extraordinary team effort involving multiple agencies, including the Idaho State Police, the FBI, and out-of-state law enforcement. The breakthrough came through genetic genealogy and forensic evidence that tied Kohberger to the crime scene. A K-bar knife was identified as the murder weapon, and investigators believe it was used in all 4 killings. Despite this, authorities still don't understand why that specific house or those specific victims were chosen. For whatever reason, Kohberger chose that residence, one investigator said. "We don't know why." The surviving roommates, Bethany Funke and Dylan Mortensen, also shared emotional statements during the hearing. Both expressed deep sorrow and trauma from that night, but also incredible resilience. These 2 young women unknowingly slept in the house while the murders took place just rooms away. Their strength, along with the strength of the victims' families, was repeatedly recognized by the judge and legal teams. As difficult as it was, their testimony and continued courage helped push the case toward resolution. And now, with Kohberger permanently behind bars, a new chapter begins, one focused on healing, remembrance, and justice. Outside the courtroom, the reaction was mixed. Some families expressed relief that the legal process was over, while others felt cheated by the deal that removed the death penalty from the table. Stephen Goncalves, Kaylee's brother, criticized the prosecution for not involving the families in the decision. He said they were told about the plea deal, not in person, not with warning, not with respect. Others agreed that the sentence failed to reflect the magnitude of the crime, but most acknowledged that at least now they can begin to move forward, knowing the killer will never walk free again. This case left an entire nation stunned. It reminded us how vulnerable even the safest communities can be, and how justice doesn't always bring closure. With Kohberger's sentence finalized and the gag order lifted, we may still learn more about the investigation in the coming months. But one thing remains certain: the lives of Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan will never be forgotten. Their names, their stories, and the love their families continue to show in their memory will always outshine the darkness that tried to erase them. If you found this breakdown helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel for more coverage like this. And most importantly, be kind, stay safe, and honor the lives we lost.